guys, Kim Possible Workouts here. You know, something we never get enough time on in class is talking about form. And so I'm going to spend a few minutes talking to you about form in squats. And we'll do some subsequent videos on form and other techniques that we use in body pump. So the first thing that you want to make sure of in squats before you even pick up weight is that your feet are positioned properly. So in the mid-stance squat, your feet are going to be just under your hips, go one heel toe wider, and point your toes to about 11 and 1 on the clock. If you need to go wider, because we're in a wide stance for instance, you can go one heel toe wider than that. From there, make sure you can wiggle your toes. All the time in class I see people doing squats like this on their toes. Instead, you want to make sure that the weight's in your heels, you can wiggle your toes, and that sets you up on the bottom half for success everywhere. From there, tighten up your glutes, tighten up your core. Focus on lifting your chest up and back so your shoulders are back, and now you're in a good stance to start your squatting. When you go down into a squat, really important thing to make sure of is that if you can turn to the side and check yourself out in a side mirror, that's excellent. Because oftentimes you'll see that maybe you're stopping, 3/4 of the way down, and you should be able to go to full range, which is keeping your bottom just above your knee height. The other thing to watch out for is to make sure your knees stay behind your toes instead of letting something like this happen. Remember earlier I was telling you about how I see people sometimes on their toes and they're lifting their heels. When you do that, you naturally lean more to the front and you're putting your knees in a compromising position here. You want to structurally set yourself up so that when you squat, you're sitting back and down. The other thing is, notice how my chest is up. So a lot of times when you put the bar on your back, you want to start leaning forward like this. It's super tempting, but don't do it. So let's pick up the bar and see how this works. So once again, I'm going to start with my feet right under my hips. I'm going to go one heel toe out for mid-stance. I'm tightening up my glutes, I'm tightening up my core, and I'm lifting my chest. From here, when I squat, I've got a great position, my bottom is stopping right above my knee height, and I feel comfortable, I feel confident here. The other thing to keep in mind is that when we go into bottom halves, that means you're pulsing on the bottom half of the range of motion. So often I see people on the top half here treating this like a bottom half. So when we truly have bottom halves and we're doing it in the squat track, please make sure you're going all the way down so your butt stops right above your knees. You're pulsing about halfway up and then back down. And I promise you, if you do that and you get the range right, you will see the change. Happy squatting.